Now, welcome back to the TMP project and Scotty's domain. I feel like this was a shot someone just took at James Doohan saying, "Hey, look up," and he did. I don't know if this is it's a candid. That's what it is. It's a candid shot. Never noticed the little the arrowhead on the sleeve there before. I'll be. All right, so we're learning. Are we going to learn about Scotty and his domain? And of course, we're not. But we get to know more. So the next card is all about Engineer Scott, who is a commander. So there's Doohan in an action pose, and it's it's a midpoint. It's a midpoint James Doohan in between the one we knew from TOS, but with the mustache now and a little gray. So I know Doohan was a little older than Shatner, so I'm going to put him maybe 52, 53. That's probably young, but we're not getting the larger James Doohan we would come to know later. So that's a 1979. So we're learning about the domain. We're learning about Engineer Scott, and then we're learning about the fantastic new devices. And in this case, we have now. It was not referred to as a warp core during TOS. Not called a warp core. It was called an intermix chamber. I like the term intermix chamber. I think they should have stuck with that instead of just like the warp core. But whatever. Warp core, I'm fairly certain would be a TNG piece of terminology. But right here, pretty sure intermix chamber was what this was known as. And we have something unrelated on the back of the card, and it's more about Shatner. Okay, Shatner has his own card. What's this called? I'm not gonna get over it. I'm working on it. And more angles of the intermix chamber that goes from here to here. And remember, so the optical illusion kind of stops. It just gets smaller and smaller, and they found some little people to put in engineering outfits and put them back here so you can have that forced perspective. So it goes up and then it goes outward, and there's the console. And a lot of folks on YouTube have done great work on recreating this deck, and I love just to look at those. And if I can find them any, I'll put them right above so you can go appreciate them too, beyond the scope of the card. But there it is. If only these were Viewmaster slides, that would be awesome. But I don't. I'm going to have to look. A TNG Viewmaster reel exists, but not like this. And then, well, this one's off track. We're not investigating the malfunction yet. The malfunction's about to happen. That's the transporter accident. I haven't decided if it's going to be another show or not. But what we're doing here is that Kirk has just left the bridge, and he's going down to engineering because Captain Decker is down there, and he has to share the bad news with William Decker that Decker can no longer be captain. I'm taking the center seat, Will. You're what? I'm taking the center seat. You are? Oh, whose authority? All right, so this is going to be a difficult one. So this is Stephen Collins, played the erstwhile Executive Officer Decker. That's all I'm going to say. Steve Collins got into a little trouble later on in life. He is now off the grid and living a private life. But he got himself into a little bit of trouble, and I'll just leave it at that. And so here we see Scotty knows what's going on because Scotty took Kirk to the ship, and they gave her back to me, Scotty. You know, and so we're about to talk to Decker to say, hey, I want my ship back because something bad's going to happen. It's one thing when you're just redesigning it and trying to find your own feet, but apparently the Enterprise is the only one here that can save us because there aren't any other ships in the fleet by Earth. You know, the place where the fleet's at. But we'll do this. All right. Hey, plot summary number 3. I'm going to save these plot summary cards and put them over there, and then we'll do a plot summary episode. And here we see, I'm off. This scene is right before this scene because Kirk's in it. So, you know, I guess Decker has an engineering background because, you know, in no world would Decker point out to Scotty what's wrong. You know, Scotty knows what's wrong. It's no Decker going, yeah, see, just as I thought, you have a faulty blah, 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 blah. You know, Scotty would know that. Scotty would know that. All right, so here we are. And, you know, they're the folks in the smaller outfits way back there for force perspective. Now, as we know, the scene didn't take place in front of the little V'ger stuff, but okay. Captain Decker working alongside to repair the transporter circuitry, unaware of the sudden change in command. And then we have that speech at the end with Decker's like, no, I bet you didn't. You're not, you don't regret this, not one damn bit. And then Decker conveniently leaves right before the console explodes in engineering, and then suddenly engineering's hooked up to the transporter room. So we had a mad dash it to the transporter room. But then Decker knows what happened, even though Kirk just came out of the I'll leave that alone. That maybe for the next. I feel like it's all leading to incredible explosion. Is there a person here? It's like this is somebody inside the explosion, and I don't see an emblem on Kirk here. Something's missing. This is just an odd shot. But okay, so incredible explosion, followed up by a Shatner mug on the other side. And then I'm going to do the transporter. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the extra time, and we're going to do it. The incredible explosion leads to terror in the transporter room.